And the final words in this course include a recap of our journey, tips for enhancing your development experience, and a few pointers to additional information. Let's jump right into this short module. The goal of this course was to guide you down the right path, making your own adventures with Angular more pleasant and productive. Let's recap our journey and review the answers to the key questions we identified at the beginning of this course. What is a component? We discovered that a component is a view defined with a template, logic defined with a class, and metadata defined with a decorator. Where do we put the HTML for our user interface? Either in the metadata using the template property, or in a separate HTML file using the template URL property in the metadata. When should we use binding? Anytime we want to display a component class property value in the view. When we want to control the DOM by setting a DOM element property in code. When we want to respond to user actions. And when we want to display a component class property and update the property when the user makes a change. Why do we need a service? We uncovered several reasons for building a service: to implement functionality that is independent from any particular component, to share data and logic across components, and to encapsulate external interactions, such as with data access. And how? How do we build an Angular application? With code that looks like this. Export a class, attach a decorator, and import what we need. Then put each component directive and pipe in its appropriate Angular modules declarations array. As the application grows, break out features into feature modules and share common code with a shared module. To aid productivity, leverage the Angular CLI for creating, executing, generating, and testing your application, and to build it in preparation for deployment. Along the way, each module provided a set of checklists. They contain steps and tips. Feel free to revisit and reference these checklists as you start building your own Angular applications. Let's look at some tools and tips for enhancing your development experience with Angular. Consider installing the Angular Language Service extension for VS Code. This extension provides a rich editing experience for Angular templates, including IntelliSense and error messages. With this extension installed, when you bind a product property in the template and type product dot, you'll get the list of valid properties. And if you mistype a property name in a template, you'll get a squiggly line and an error message. As your application gets bigger, it may take longer for it to download and for the users to see its first page. You can improve your application's load time performance with lazy loading. When you implement lazy loading, the feature modules for your application can load asynchronously after the first page is loaded. Find out more in the Angular routing course here in the Pluralsight library. Angular provides a rich set of techniques for building and validating user entry forms. See the Angular Forms and Angular Reactive Forms courses on Pluralsight for details. Leverage your observable pipelines. Many Angular projects work with multiple sets of data. Learn and use the RxJS operators to effectively combine, merge, and process multiple data sets. See the Pluralsight RxJS and Angular Reactive Development course for more information. Many projects have unique architectural elements, and many teams have specific coding standards and styles. You can modify existing schematics or create your own Angular CLI schematics to generate code the way you want it. See the Angular documentation for more information. Consider installing the Angular DevTools Chrome extension. The Angular DevTools provide debugging and profiling capabilities specifically for Angular applications. And with TSLint now deprecated, you can add ESLint features to your project using the Angular CLI ng-add command. See this GitHub repo for more information. Congratulations! You've made it! Yay! You've completed the journey through the basics of Angular. But the road goes ever on and on. There are so many more paths for us to take, and so much more to learn. Thoughts or comments about this course? Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed our adventure through Angular.